Hi, I'm part of the English 5B redesign team, and my name is Elizabeth Powell. I teach English 5B, and I'm here with
Amanda Dinskor. I'm the librarian liaison to the English department.
And I'm Ginny Crisco. I'm the co-director of the First Year Writing Program.
Amanda. Why don't you tell us about the key elements of our course redesign?
Okay, so we are working to improve the information literacy skills of students in English 5B. And basically information literacy is the ability to identify when information is needed and to find information and to use it effectively in their writing. So one of the ways that we're hoping to do that is to build upon some of the work that we've already done in developing a tutorial for these students, and instead this time kind of create modules of information where it's targeted. We're targeting information at different periods in the semester. And we're planning to do that through a series of blog posts and video blogs where I will go through the research process with the students and mirror where they should be during the course of the class and where they should be in the research process.
Well, that sounds great. Ginny, how will this be different from how the course has been taught?
In the past, we had a research tutorial or a library tutorial that Amanda and I had worked on, and we just feel like it was a one-shot thing. It was a 20-minute tutorial that students watched, and there were 3 assignments that came out of it, and we thought that we could create something a little bit more extensive that could be used throughout the semester rather than just at one time, and that could take students a little bit more deeper in some of the skills that we wanted them to learn as far as information literacy goes.
Excellent. Amanda, what factors did we consider when we were setting up these elements?
Well, one of the initial challenges that we had whenever we created the online tutorial originally was that there were so many students enrolled in these courses that librarians, we just couldn't meet the needs of all the students enrolled in these freshman English classes. So we created the original tutorial so that we could meet their needs a little bit more efficiently. But I think we've realized since then that really more targeted kind of this kind of information literacy instruction delivered in modules where it's more needs-based, so as students can access when they need it during the course of the semester makes more sense. And it's also, we're hoping to scale it to all the rest of the first year writing program, hopefully English 5B and English 10. So it should reach, I believe it was 1,400 or so students a year take these courses. So we're hoping to meet their needs. The larger group of students. So, and then we're just thinking too, the one-shot instruction sessions with students coming to the library really aren't the ideal. We just throw a lot of information at them whenever they come in for library instruction, and it may not be occurring at the time when they need it the most. So I think that these kinds of modules might be more effective for them.
Hopefully we can hit the teachable moment, right? Mm-hmm. Ginny, would you like to talk about the student learning outcomes and how our course redesign is aligned with them?
Sure. We have 5 learning outcomes that we evaluate on the student's final portfolio. And so we're looking at 3 of those outcomes for this particular project. The first one is reading and writing strategies. So we're looking at the ways that students can find information, how they can write about that information, what tools they have. The second one is summary and conversation, and that will focus on how students can evaluate sources, think about what conversation these sources are entering into, what kinds of conversations they want to enter into as far as their research project, that kind of thing. And then rhetoricality, which is about addressing an audience, having a purpose, so using information for a particular reason for academic purpose.
Amanda, why don't you talk about how we're going to assess our course redesign?
Sure. We are going to do a pre-survey and a post-survey to the students for 3 classes in the fall, all of which Elizabeth will be teaching. So we're in the process of developing the pre-survey and post-surveys right now with some help from Chris from the TILT department. And we are also going to compare the results of the students' achievement on their final portfolio scores. From last year, we have that information for 3 classes that Elizabeth did. So we're hoping to compare the results of those on 3 different areas of the portfolio. We're comparing their grades on that, and then compare them to the end of year grades and the semester grades in the fall.
All right. So we have a general timeline for implementation of this, right?
Right. so we have the basic structure in place now. We're really not going to be changing the syllabus very much at all. Many of the learning objectives really make sense for integrating information literacy already. So not too many changes need to be made to that, if any at all. So we have the basic structure now, and then I'll be working on the blog posts, or however we decide to deliver the content, the video blog postings, and then also some tutorial content and links and things like that. I will be developing that throughout the rest of the summer in consultation with Elizabeth and Jenny, and then we're hoping to roll that out in the fall when the courses, the semester begins.
Sounds great. What concerns do you have about our course redesign?
I'm just thinking about the timing of the blogs and when students will access them in relationship to the kinds of things they're learning in the class. While we don't want to overwhelm them with information, we also want to be sure that they have the information that they need and that it doesn't come too late or too early in their experience in the semester. And then after that, thinking about how to package it for the whole first year writing program, particularly English 5B and 5B and 10, excuse me. Thinking about how we can best make this available for all teachers and then help teachers know how to integrate it into their courses.
Well, at the end of our Innovations Academy here, I have to tell you one of the things that, the things that have blown me away is just how many resources there are available online, how many different ways to package material and deliver it to students. That part kind of blew me away. Jenny, what did you get out of this?
Well, I think one thing that I learned is that a lot of the technology out there is really more for, as far as education goes, it's really more for those folks that are information heavy rather than performance heavy. And so it makes it challenging for a discipline like English because we really emphasize the performance, and in the end, students just have to write. And they need to have feedback on that writing. And so sometimes it feels like the technology tools, while there's so much available and it's such good information and you can really, make it beautiful for students and interesting, it just makes me wonder if, how much technology will influence the ways that we teach or the ways that our students learn. I mean, obviously it already is, but but that's something, I guess I am still processing what that means for us and our discipline, because it does seem like a lot of the stuff out there is more for information-based disciplines.
Amanda, what's your big takeaway?
Well, I like the information literacy does have a lot of content that you're trying to get into students' heads. So I think using some of the technology tools that were introduced in the program actually might be really useful, at least kind of the outside sources, maybe not so much in Blackboard, those things, but I am interested in so presenting these sources using the different technology tools, maybe in a web-based environment like a blog or something like that, and then using the Blackboard tools in the course management system, like the discussion board and things like that, to really have students reflect on what they're learning and what they're viewing through the blogs or whatever platform we decide to use. So I think the technology tools were really interesting to me. And then I also found the copyright information very interesting, but I'm a librarian, so that is interesting to me. And then the information about affordable learning solutions was also really good. And then assessment too. It's something I'm not a pro at, so it was always good to learn more about how important assessment is.
It's a growth area.
It is a growth area for all of us.
All right. Thank
Okay,
you for
thank
listening.
you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.